Hey there, it's Perry with PapercraftingThreads. Today I have a Quadruple Easel Fun Fold card. Let's get started.
Taking an envelope from the kit, I'm going to slice it open. Cutting on the score line for the flap, because we're going to cut two pieces from this flap. So we're going to get a straight edge, two straight edges first. I want this to be 1 3/4 inches by 2 3/8. And 1 3/4. And we're gonna just trim off here. There's a little extra seam that I missed the first time. So 2 3/8. And it's okay, we're using up the parts that have the extra seams, the extra stuff on them, because it'll all be covered up for this project, and we can save the bulk of this envelope for another project. Then I have a piece of basic beige measuring 3 3/4 inches by 10 inches. And we're going to score this first down the middle, which is at 1 7/8. Then we're going to cut it into 4 equal pieces. So that would be 2 1/2 inches wide. These 4 pieces now have this score line. Here's our score line down the middle. I'm going to make another score line running from the top left corner down to this first score line. Like that. I have another piece of basic beige cardstock measuring 2 1/2 inches by 7 1/2 inches. And I'm going to cut this into 4 equal pieces, so each one will be cut to 1 7/8 by 2 1/2. I also have a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock measuring 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and another piece of basic beige cardstock measuring 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. For the card base, you could use this as the base from the kit, but I didn't want to cover up all of the texture. These are the pieces that were scored down the middle. This is the indented side, so I'm going to flip them all over. So now my score line runs this way, and I'm using Misty Moonlight, which is also the Stampin' Spot, but I'm going to use this as my stamp. And just making a random pattern on the side that is unscored. It's okay if you go over the middle score line, and it's okay if its ink is not even on the bottom of the stamp case. And just wipe off the bottom with a baby wipe. If you don't have a full-size Misty Moonlight ink pad, add ink to acrylic block. Now it's time to fold. Here's my middle score line, here's my diagonal score line. We're going to fold it the opposite way that you would fold a book. That, and then open it back up, and then fold that diagonal in, and repeat. Fold the opposite way a book folds, open, diagonal. Adhere this piece to my basic card. Then each one of these is going to be glued on here with it opening to the left. I'm also just going to burnish these score lines. Then I'm going to glue all of these onto this mat, and there should be a tiny little border. Then each of these is going to be glued onto this bottom triangle. I have a scrap of basic beige, and I have the full-size Misty Moonlight, or you can use the small. And then I also have a Wild Wheat ink pad. And then I have this little accent stamp from the set. And I'm going to ink it up and stamp in the opposite tree. So the Misty Moonlight trees are going to get a little bit of wild wheat in there. This just adds some depth. And the Misty Moonlight trees get a little bit of the Misty Moonlight. And then I have a scrap piece of basic white, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Versamark first, then on my colored ink, fussy cut the trees. Some trees I cut apart and some trees I left together. Then we need a stopper, because what's going to happen is I'm going to bend that up. So I'm using some retired sea glass shapes as my stopper. Use whatever you have in your stash. And there you have it, a quadruple easel fun fold card. For written instructions, please visit my blog at. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and thanks for watching. Bye.